Hello, my lovely, luscious Leos. Welcome, welcome. It is Sachi the Scorpio, and I am here to deliver your guided healing tarot for the month of April. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. And thank you so much for all of your support on this channel, Leos. Please do remember that the top 3 videos that get the most likes also get a twin flame bonus, okay? So let's hop into it. This is what came out in the cleansing ceremony. We had Green Man Synergy in reverse. So this is telling me that something is not, working right in your life. It's like you don't have a synergistic relationship with your environment. It's like there's something, disharmonious about the ecosystem that you are in. And we had Mountain Strength in reverse. So it's telling me that it's taking strength away from you, taking power away from you, could be making you feel powerless in some sort of way. We had the Queen of Chalices come out in reverse. So, the Queen of Chalices is the highest form of divine feminine energy when it comes to the emotional body, right? Like very good at emotionally regulating, very good at, expressing emotions and carrying emotional burdens. But this queen in particular represents when, so evolved when it comes to emotional things that, the queen knows when a burden is too much for her to bear alone. And so who does she go to? The King of Chalices, right? Someone to share the burden. And, that's one of the most important things about being emotionally mature is recognizing when you need, help from others in some sort of way. But it looks like there is kind of an inability to kind of pass that on to someone else. It does feel like you're kind of trying to do it all on your own. And then we have the Empress and the Moon here, okay? So the Empress, again, we have a lot of divine feminine energy here. I'm honestly getting that there's some inner child wounding here, and it has to do with, this could also be a mother wound. So it's like connected, the inner child wound and the mother wound, and perhaps how, the divine feminine energies have played into this, non-synergistic, environment that you've gotten used to that takes away your strength. And with the moon here, this is about the subconscious, the unconscious, right? Things that are hidden. So it does look like these are like deep, deep wounds. And yeah, that you're, not open to talking about them or not open to sharing that burden with somebody else. So yeah, and then we had Trainer Choice Band in reverse, which is telling me, trainers always indicate the other person. So there is somebody else already coming out. And I'm getting that either this other person doesn't have a choice or you haven't given them a choice in some sort of way. So we'll see who that is. But yeah. Oh, and this is a World Championship card that I have in here. So it does indicate like a pretty big battle. So it looks like, maybe someone didn't have a choice whether to fight or to battle or anything like something along those lines, Leo. All right, so Happy New Year, right? We are in Aries season. The spring equinox, which was March 21st, represents the, the astrological new year when we enter Aries season, which is all about fresh new energy. So what we are going to do this month is take a look into what new beginning is coming towards you. Then we are going to see what is the blockage of that new beginning, of what is hindering our access to that. Then we'll look into how to overcome the blockage, and then we will look at how to manifest your highest vibrational timeline. And then, of course, some oracles as well. So let's take a look-see, shall we? Let's find out what new beginning is coming towards our Leos. We have Forest Breath in reverse. So I'm hearing that this new beginning is not a breath of fresh air, but you will be getting out of something. It's like you won't be taking the sigh of relief just yet, but you will be able to emerge out of whatever this situation is to at least get yourself out of it. Let's see. Tell us more about this. We have the 8 of Swords. Yeah, you're going to get out of this, but it is going to be a bit exhausting, okay? Again, it's like, it's not going to be a breath of fresh air. And as you can see in the 8 of Swords here, like this is someone who has, you know, gone through hours of studying, hours of this. So it does look like there is some work that needs to be done in terms of, you know, finding the answers in certain places. This card specifically talks about studying esoteric and, you know, here she's, you know, learning about Wicca and things like that. So it looks like there is a certain amount of research that is involved here. Eight of Swords also has to do with cycles of the mind state, or like a mental cycle or a conversation that's happening over and over again. Let's see, tell us more about this. We have the High Priestess in reverse and Justice in reverse. So, well, Leo, so yeah, it looks like, so you're going to be emerging out of this situation, but again, it's not a breath of fresh air, and it looks like because, you know, you're emerging out of it because you're recognizing that this cycle over and over again is just so exhausting that you kind of have to get out of, you know, you have to emerge out of this. With the High Priestess and Justice in reverse, it feels like, you know, the reason why you have to get out of it is because after you're exhausted to a certain extent, you're going to recognize, like, this is not a just situation. I'm not going to get justice out of this. You know, and that's how you can tell when you start repeating things over and over again and it just, you know, makes you so exhausted. That's when you know, like, okay, this is not a just situation. I'm not going to, you know, have my justice. This is Libra energy in reverse. So things are just not balanced here. Okay, and with the High Priestess in reverse, it feels like, you know, the reason why this cycle is going over and over again is because you're not really in tune with your spiritual body, per se. And it feels like that's why this situation is unjust, because it's a little bit hard for you to get in touch with your higher self as the High Priestess versus, like, because you're in some sort of mental cycle that's just exhausting you, if that makes sense. I will also say, because we had the Empress come out in the cleansing ceremony and now the High Priestess is in reverse, it does look like you are focusing more on the physical world. So, you know, like money, family, housing, right? Things in the 3D material world rather than the 5D. Let's see, what's the light energy here? I was also getting that, okay, this one wants to come out, that for some of you, you might have to leave a situation because like spiritual information that you've been receiving here, again, like studying the esoteric might not actually be for the greatest good. It seems like, you know, you may be getting some sort of spiritual counseling where you recognize, like, okay, this is not actually just, this is not balanced. And that it just feels exhausting. Okay. So we have Panpour here using Scratch. So, you know, Panpour indicates, like, I always take, like, when it rains, it pours. So it feels like, again, this cycle is going to start where it's just sort of trickling and then it starts to pour. With Scratch, I always take this as like a scratch on the emotional body. So, let's see. It says, it does not thrive in a dry environment. It keeps itself damp by shooting water stored in its head, its head tuft from its tail. Okay, so this is talking about keeping wet and stuff, which I take as, you know, keeping, you know, emotional. So it does seem like this is a pretty emotional situation. And by, you know, staying in the water, even though you are emerging, but still staying, you know, wet in the situation, let's see, trainer buddy rescue in reverse. Okay, yeah. So the thing is, it's like you don't thrive in a dry environment, which again, it's like, so you need all this emotion, you want all this emotion, and we saw that with the Queen of Chalices, even though she was in reverse, right? So you really do like having a lot of emotional energy, but it's like, for some reason, you don't feel like you can share it with others in some sort of way. And, you know, with trainer here, so again, this other person's energy is coming out with buddy rescue. It's basically like, you know, you may have been in a situation where it's like, let me help you and then you help me sort of thing. But it looks like someone is really unwilling to do that. And it feels like that's kind of the situation that has been repeating over and over again, is that, you know, no one's really getting rescued here. So again, this new beginning is you really just emerging out of this situation, but it does look like you have to go through it first. And, you know, the only way to break a cycle is to go into it, right? All right, let's see. What's the shadow here? Okay, quite a bit. We'll do it. So we have Golett using nap here. So it seems like your third eye is asleep a bit, you know, and we saw that with the High Priestess in reverse. So it looks like the third eye is a little bit blocked here. It says the energy that burns inside it enables it to move, but no one has yet been able to identify this energy. So it does seem like there's some sort of, you know, unknown energy here that is going to motivate you in order to move or do something. Some of you might actually be physically moving. We have Aaron using confront. So it looks like you are going to be confronting a type of energy, and it looks like what you're going to be confronting is this claying energy using vice grip and fletchling using flap, which vice grip I take as something very connected, like stuck to each other, basically, and fletchling using flap is like how things are communicated. So it does look like you are being asked to confront this. This is steel energy, so this is something very solid. So, you know, some sort of psychic, you know, energy is manipulating you in order to move or to do something. And again, it doesn't feel like your own intuition. This does feel like a third party sort of situation. And yet you're going to confront this vice grip. So this can be some sort of codependent energy, because as you see, like they are connected to each other. It says, when it evolves, it shed its steel carapace that covers the whole body and develops a new one. So it does look like as you move forward, what you're going to do, like when you confront it, again, like you have to go in this cycle in order to break it, right? And when you confront it, it's going to help you evolve. You will be, you know, shedding your carapace, right? You're shedding a spiritual layer of your soul in order to emerge out of this situation. With the vice grip here, let's see. It says, a mini gear and big gear comprised of its body. If the mini gear it launches at a foe doesn't return, it will die. So yeah, that's like that codependent energy that I was talking about, of like, oh, like if you leave and never come back, then I'll die sort of thing, you know, like it's very, yeah, it's just like a codependent energy, and that can definitely be, you know, some psychic undertones of manipulation in some sort of way, right? Of like, you don't really know where this energy is coming from, but, you know, there it is trying to manipulate, you know, whether it's you feeling like, you know, obviously not die, but like, oh my gosh, you know, I'll never be okay if this person doesn't come back, or someone else in your life that's like, if you don't come back to me, I'll never be okay. Yeah, that's, you know, you're going to confront this energy, right? You have the ability to. This is a new beginning that you have the ability to confront and to emerge out of, right? Because you can see that justice is not being served, and it feels like you know that because it is exhausting. You're getting exhausted, and, you know, eventually you'll get so exhausted that you will just confront it, right? We had fletchling using flap again, so I take that as how communication is going on with Bird Spirit here. It says, the amiable Pokemon is easy to train, but when a battle is joined, it shows its ferocious side. So I feel like that's you, Leo, right? Like usually you're a playful cat, you know, like nuzzle, cuddle, you know, all the great things about Leo, but don't F with a Leo, right? When you go into battle, it will show its ferocious side. And I feel like that's really what is going to be coming out from you, is like, all right, like here I've gotten emotionally scratched, I've gotten emotionally hurt. Like, yeah, I do like that water sort of energy, but I don't like being exhausted and knowing, you know, why psychically there's this like energy around me that's, you know, either manipulating me or trying to manipulate me, or me, you know, accidentally manipulating someone, whatever it may be. And yeah, you know, it's all cute and fun and games until the teeth and the claws come out, right? And that's how I feel like this. And in order to confront it, it does feel like, you know, it is going to take a little bit of your ferocious side. All right, let's see what the blockage is. What's the blockage here? ancestors, generations. So I was going to say, you know, this psychic energy, it feels unknown, right? You know, it's this unknown energy around that's making you move, right? So it could be making your energy move and things like that. And in the cleansing ceremony, I was getting, you know, that inner child, the mother wound sort of energy. And here with the ancestors, generations in reverse, it's telling me that this is some sort of ancestral curse that has not been broken. Okay. Going right to the, you know, high priestess in reverse and justice in reverse with this vice grip energy. So it feels like it's an ancestral curse that is kind of on your shoulders. And again, it feels like it's, you know, unjust because one, it feels like you inherited this rather than anything you actually did. But again, it's like you're not tapped into your higher self, but it's because your ancestors, you know, they didn't tap into their higher self, so they passed this on to you, okay? Let's see. What's the blockage here? Okay, hold on. I'm getting that the ancestors want to say something, okay? Coming out stuck. Okay, fairies, earth magic, and new moon promise. Yeah, but your ancestors are promising to help you. Okay, there is going to be a new beginning here with the new moon, right? There is promise of new energy, fresh energy. We just had the Aries new moon yesterday. I'm recording this on the 12th. And so the fairies do want to help with earth magic. So it looks like by getting grounded and stuff, they want to help you, okay? So yeah, even though, you know, I mean, and we can't really blame our ancestors either. Of course they want to help. But yeah, this is some sort of ancestral curse here. That's part of the blockage. There could also be a promise, some tricky promise is what I'm hearing. Something tricky, like how a fairy would try to get you into a deal of like, yeah, like, you know, you'll get this. Again, it's unjust. It's unjust. It's like, you'll get this if like you can have the physical riches if you do this for me, but really like in tiny print, there's something that kind of screws you over. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. Let's see. Yeah, the moon in reverse. There are hidden things. There are hidden things, but it feels like you kind of know them with the moon in reverse. Again, it's like those secrets, but you don't even know that they're secrets. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of like tricky, not good energy here. Yeah, one of chalices. This is not done with love. This is not a positive emotional offering. This is not filling your cups in the way that you want them to be filled. Okay? This is tricky. It's like, it's going to drain you more than it gives to you. It's like, oh yeah, let me fill your cup up with like gold and riches and things like that, right? With this like weird fairy promise here. But instead, you know, it's like, yeah, if you do this, I'm going to fill your cup with all of these jewels or whatever. But in the fine print, it's like, but then I cut off your hand and I get your hand sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like there's just really some backwards type deal here. So let's see, what's the light energy here? Chancy using hammer in. Yeah. So what I just said, it really wants to be hammered in. Anytime hammering comes out, it's Spirit's way of saying like, you hit the nail on the head and let's emphasize this. Like there is some tricky deal making that's not good. Again, like this other person is not interested in helping you. It's like, oh yeah, let me help you. And then, you know, you'll help me. That's not how this is. That it does not feel like that at all. With Chancy, I'm like hearing that like it's a risk, like you're taking a chance, like, you know, you're taking a chance of having your own emotional body emptied of, you know, you might have to be sworn to secrecy in some way as well as what I'm hearing. Oof, Leo, what is this? It says the eggs laid by Chancy are rich in nutrients and a favorite food of many Pokemon. So I'm getting that it's like an egg that can be given to you, right? And you don't know what's inside, but you know it's like incubating and it's like, oh yeah, if you take care of this egg and then it hatches and you get it, right? And you're really excited because what's inside? Well, maybe it's a golden egg or, you know, one of those golden geese that lay golden eggs, right? But when it opens, it's like the egg inside is like a dinosaur that wants to bite your head off or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not... There's something else about this egg. Tell me. That's what I was feeling. So it's this person's attempt to search for your energy. They're trying to get your emotional energy here. That's all they are doing. Again, with the One of Chalices, it's like someone may promise something to you, but really it's just going to empty your cups rather than fill them. With Teddy Urso using takedown in reverse, they're not attempting to take you down. You know what I mean? Like, how do I put this? You have to keep your energy source like alive, right? If you want to take from it. And that's kind of how it feels. Like, they're not going to take you down. They're just going to take enough from you that keeps you like strung along. Okay, so this definitely feels like some sort of breadcrumbing situation of like, oh yeah, look, it's your favorite egg. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you want to know what the prize inside is? Well, you're going to have to stay here and give me your emotional energy. Or da, 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 da. It's just not good. It says, before food becomes scarce in wintertime, its habit is to hoard food in many hidden locations. So again, there is some emphasis on what is being eaten here, so be very careful about that. But what I'm getting is more like this person may have like hid some assets or hid some money or hid something, you know, over the course of years or even perhaps this last summer, and is like, yeah, if you want to get that, you know, here's like a little treasure map to find them. You know what I mean? Like, this is definitely someone's playing games. Someone's playing games here with you. With Stoutland using, and it's coming out stuck, Odor Sleuth and Giga Impact. So it's like, yeah, they want you to like sniff out for clues and stuff. Like, this is very impactful for you and this other person. It feels like this is big in the communication here. That's kind of how it is. It's like, oh yeah, you know, they're trying to search for emotional energy and they get it out of you by putting you in some sort of like weird treasure hunt. And this is a generational curse that likely your parents went through as well, and grandparents, like whatever this trickery is. It says, an extremely wise Pokemon excels at rescuing people stranded at sea or in the middle of mountains. Yeah, and it's going to seem like they're trying to rescue you. It's like, oh, look, I'm here to rescue you. Look, oh, I searched for you, sort of thing. Oh, yeah, look, there's that over there. But really, it's just draining you. I'm hearing another blockage is that you want to spill the tea about this. Coming out stuck in the shadow is Paris with Spore and Stomp. So, you know, I take this Paris, you know, it's mushroom spirit. I take this as like a parasite. So it looks like this is some sort of parasitic energy in your heart chakra. With Spore, I'm taking like, you know, there is some sort of common root, right? That's what mushrooms do. They like poof their genetic information and then all the spores start, right, coming up. So it feels like that this person has done it to other people as well. But again, like there is some sort of like, you know, ancestral aspect to this where the root cause is not in anything that you've done. It's just you are replaying cycles that your ancestors didn't break before you. Okay. With Stomp, I'm hearing that this is like stomping all over your heart, like really no regard to your heart center. You know, this is not done out of love, even though it's like, oh yeah, there's a promise of like, usually the new moon indicates a promise of new love, but honestly, this seems like a, scavenger hunt in some sort of way where you're supposed to get some sort of riches and they're pretending like they're saving you in some sort of way, but really all it does is drain you. It says mushrooms named Tichikaso grow on its back. They grow along with the host, Paris. Yeah, exactly. You know, just like I was talking about the host, like this is definitely a parasitic energy, and it feels like, you know, anything that you possibly could gain is actually off of the sweat of your own back. You know, it's just very, very parasitic here. Whew. Jeez, Leo. All right, like I said, in the extended, we will check into how we overcome this blockage, and then we will get some advice on how to manifest the highest vibrational timeline. But let's get, since we had the moon come out twice, let's pull a moon card, shall we? A time to give rather than to take in reverse. New moon in Virgo. Yeah, you are not meant to give to this situation any longer. And Spirit's really emphasizing that, is like, yeah, you know, the new beginning is that you get out of this cycle because it's exhausting you and it's not bringing you justice. And this person's just, you know, sending you on some sort of wild goose chase is what it feels like. So yeah, this is not a time to be giving to the situation. And it might be one of those things like, yeah, if you give me this, you know, if you give me $50 now, I'll give you $100 tomorrow. That kind of like, you know, sneaky stuff. And I just don't like that energy, Leo. All right, let's see what angel would like to bring us into the extended. Woo! We have patience. Archangel Jophiel, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So again, if this person's promising you that your dreams are going to come true or whatever it may be, you know, obviously this is not the way, right? Not some sort of quick fix of someone's like, oh, here, I'll rescue you, do this, do that, right? No, we need some patience here, okay? Give things time. Your dreams are manifesting into reality, but you need to be able to nurture it and, you know, give patience to it. And then what do you know? We have moon cycles here. Okay, so we had a lot of lunar energy, and this is an emphasis even more so. Archangel Haniel, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capitalize upon these cycles. So you are being asked to work with the moon, right? If you want to emerge out of a situation and let go of a cycle that no longer serves you, the best time to do it is with a full moon, right? And the next full moon that we have, and you know, this is Libra energy in reverse justice, and we just had that Libra full moon. So likely what was, you know, not just in your world became very apparent around that Libra full moon. And now we are going to be going into the Scorpio full moon, which is the most intense full moon of the year, which is really releasing a lot of cycles, right? 8 is the number of Scorpio. So work with that, capitalize on, you know, on working with Mother Moon, okay? Because you can get all the information. You can even find out that this person's, you know, BSing you, basically. All you need to do is work with the moon. So, you know, also figure out what your moon sign is. If you don't know your moon sign, I highly suggest it because, you know, working with the moon when it's in your natal moon can really help. And as a Leo moon, Leos, you know, I love you guys. So, all right, like I said, if you'd like to follow me into the extended to figure out how we can overcome this blockage, you know, and get a little bit more information and then some advice on how to manifest your highest vibrational timeline, the link is in the description box below, and I will see you there. If we part ways here, good luck with the situation. I am sending you so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah.